Hey everybody, Dave here, and I'm back after a little hiatus around the holidays and almost the entire month of January here. And I'm actually just going to go over a quick video here of what I'm calling for fun operation, name everything or keeping it real. And I think in order to have some realistic and fun operation on your model railroad, you need to kind of think about the industry on your railroad. And you actually have to sit down and think about what you're going to name all your industries and all your little things on the railroad. Everything should have a name. The first thing I haven't done, still, even though I asked another video, maybe what should I name my railroad, I didn't really get any responses, and I've been thinking about it a little bit more. So the first thing I want to do is name my little short line railroad that services my fictional New England town. So I've come in here, and I'll open up my little Word doc here. I came up with some names here for my railroad based on where I am, and one of the first things I thought of was Hampden and Windham. Reason for that was I live in Hampden County, and if I go straight up Connecticut River Valley, I'll end up in Windham County, Vermont. Enfield and Athol, because in the Quabbin Valley in Massachusetts, there was a railroad line that no longer exists because it's under a lot of water right now, that ran from Enfield, Massachusetts, which no longer exists, to Athol, Massachusetts. And it was a Boston and Maine railroad branch, I believe, or maybe Boston and Albany railroad branch, until that was flooded in the 1930s. And that was in the Quabbin Valley. So I thought that might be an interesting name. And then I came up here, did a little more thinking, and the original name of the city I live in was Arlen Parish. So I thought of the Arlen Parish Railroad, but, you know, throw some more things out here. I've gone fly fishing on the Battengill River and the Westfield River. So I gave it a little bit of thought. And I really didn't like these. I was just trying to get more ideas. Didn't really like this. Don't know why. I love the city I live in. I just decided against that. Hampden and Windham I thought was a little bit long. And Quabbin Valley Railroad, or Enfield and Athol, I kind of like the and in there. I don't know why. So I'm sticking with the Enfield and Athol Railroad. So that's the name, unless I come up with a nicer one. I can always change the name later. I'm going to go through another tutorial where I show you how to make your own graphics. So that's something there that I can change up on the railroad station when I decide to do that, or the name of my town, a railroad station, what have you. So I got to think of a name for my town still. So that'll be my railroad name. Town name. I haven't really thought of that, but like I said, the original name of my town was Arlen Parish. That's the name of my town. Arlen Parish. Could be anywhere in New England. There were a lot of Irish immigrants here. I personally am not Irish, but I guess I am on St. Patrick's Day, according to my Irish friends. Next thing I want to do is name my industries and what they do and what they are. Okay, so my industries on my railroad, I came in here and said, what am I going to make my industries here? So I came in here and actually grabbed some pictures. The scenery is not even close to done. There's a little more here. You'll see some of the other videos. But here's one of my first industries. And first thing I want to do is, what is it and what am I going to name it? Well, the name of the kit from Model Power was I believe Eastern Chemicals. Yes, it was. And I actually decided to keep the name Eastern Chemicals for the name of this industry because the signs actually look pretty good on it, look to scale, and I have no problem being a little bit generic. So I am going to call this Eastern Chemical Company. But what does Eastern Chemical Company do? Let's think about it. They make things. Must make things in order to be on a railroad, right? So I thought about things. What could this company do that kind of fits its size and perhaps Era. So I know for a fact this can't be a giant chemical company like Dow Corning or anything like that. It's a very small couple buildings. So I started thinking about it. What could this do? And I have a lumber mill on my railroad. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have this maybe make some sort of cleaning product. Maybe this lumber mill cuts up pine and fir and pine wood, so they make some sort of cleaning product. And they actually used to make a pine cleaning product in the city I live in, Lest Oil, which if you can find it, I've actually never used it, but it's still made. So what am I going to call this East Chemical? But it makes a cleaning product that I'm going to call Nox Cleaner. It's noxious. Maybe the guy invented it was named Nox. Who knows? We're called the Nox Cleaner. And what do they have delivered to them on the railroad? So daily raw chemicals or raw materials are coming in, and those are going to be things like scrap pine to make the pine oil. They're going to get maybe some different chemicals like lye, fats, things you use to make soap. So we'll get some chemicals to bring those things in. And what are they going to ship daily? They're going to ship out bottles of detergent. So delivered daily and shipped daily. All right, so that's the daily input output. Now to bring those things in, the raw materials, what kind of delivery cars am I going to need for my daily deliveries to this place? Well, daily deliveries are going to come in a couple different types of things. We're probably going to get some box cars of scrap pines, things like that. Probably some tank cars for some chemicals. And maybe a hopper car once in a while. I'm not quite sure. Now for shipping, they need a boxcar to come by and pick up all those bottles at the end of the day. An occasional delivery of bottles for bottling their product, and maybe occasionally a delivery of some sort of new equipment or something you could work into your mix here a little bit. So that's my industry here for my chemical plant. Okay, so let's come over here. Let's take a look at our next piece of industry. I'm not really in any order here. Is my lumber mill. And yes, I know I still have to make my new sign for the top, but I want to figure out what I'm going to name it first. So my lumber mill I'm actually going to call, I actually kind of went over a couple names in my head, and I'm going to call it the B.F. Flitch Company. That's a play on the term board foot in woodworking. Board foot is 144 cubic inches of lumber. And flitch is actually when they cut a log, if you stack them all up in order of which you cut them out, that's called the flitch. This is the B.F. Flitch Lumber Company. Now, delivered to the company every day would be raw materials. And these raw materials are logs. And shipped daily would be cut lumber. Simple as that. Now, what are they going to need for delivery when things are delivered there? For a car, they're going to need log cars and lumber cars. And same for shipping. They're going to need lumber cars, really, flatbeds, maybe the occasional boxcar if they already have kiln dried and cured their lumber. Who knows? I haven't quite decided if they're going to do that particular process there yet. And let's think of some occasional deliveries, something that might come by once in a while. Think about that. I would just say I'd probably have to do more with equipment. Large pieces of sawing equipment, planers, maybe a large joiner, something something like that. So that's my idea here for my lumber mill. And if you guys have any input too, you can throw that in here. And let's take a look here at my next industry. Okay, so my next industry are these two buildings here. I don't know if I get a better view of them. Don't. I kind of looked down from the top. Had some photography problems when I was setting this up because I didn't feel like setting up a tripod. And here, these are two. This is a Model Power Freight Depot. And I'm not quite sure if I'm going to keep this building or not. That was called the Holland Iron Company. So I don't really have an industry there for that particular building here yet. The model kit did not go together very well for me. I had some difficulty, mainly because I was rushing and I just wasn't satisfied with it, and some of the details didn't go very well. But it's an inexpensive kit, so I'm not worried about the end of the world here. But I have this Model Power Freight Depot that is not my main train station. So I said to myself, what am I going to do with this? And I decided to be a little bit different here. It's going to be a kind of a wholesale food distributor. Maybe the farmers in the local area come, bring their produce down, and this is a produce distributor. So I wanted to think of some names for this this business here. So we're going to call this the wholesale I'm a creative speller, if you haven't noticed yet. We'll just come in here and we'll thank our friend Spell Checker. Alright. And this distributor here, again, what am I going to name this? And I came up with just a name. I'm going to call it Jackson Wholesale Foods. And now what kind of cars are they going to require? Well, they probably aren't going to have anything delivered to them during the day. The farmers just come down with their trucks, or the truck goes out from this company here and brings the food or produce or raw materials to this facility here. So delivery done by local farmers, not railroad. All right, now, because I am modeling the 20th century and I don't need a little narrow gauge railroad going out to my all my little farms. Next thing here, what do I need for shipping? Well, depending on the material or what they're doing out, I'm thinking these more grain grocers, maybe a little bit of dairy or something like that. Nothing, nothing like large grain silos or anything like that. So shipping, they're going to need refrigerator cars or reefer cars. I can spell refrigerator because refrigerated cars. So that's what they need for shipping. Now, an occasional delivery, well, they might need a new refrigerator delivered once in a while, maybe a new piece of equipment, so I'm going to put that down as equipment. You notice they all get that occasional equipment delivery, but all industry occasionally gets that occasional delivery. Okay, so now that I named everything here, probably in another video I'm going to go over what I can do with this to set up some operating scenarios. I have my own little way of doing this because it's such a small railroad. I think a lot of ways people do this is just overly complicated. So I want to kind of tone it down a bit and be able to show you how to have, even though I only have really 3 real industries on my railroad, how to have a little bit of operating fun and interest with just 3 industries. All right, everybody, look forward to talking to you again soon. I will have up track planning part 2 very soon, and hope you all have a great time watching this, and please, 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 if you have a comment, feel free to leave it. Thank you, and have a great day.